Hey guys, welcome to yet another time-lapse video thing. I know I haven't got videos out, but honestly, I'm just trying to get my energy up and get productive again. And whatever I get out, I can get out. I expect that volume of stuff to improve over time, but yeah. But things are getting better. I'm noticing my cough is kind of disappearing finally, I hope. We'll see, but fingers crossed, and I'm hoping that that means, you know, more energy. Anyway, not what this video is about. This video is about the picture I drew yesterday, called Lift, I guess. Opted not to do any shading on Luca, but just kept that flat and then just kind of threw together background stuff. The big thing was the perspective, and I had to restart because I just wasn't getting the anatomy right, and whatever. This is the first implementation of the new paw design. I'm probably going to keep tweaking it, but yeah, let's get started, I suppose. And yeah, once again, we're using the automatic time lapse slowed down just because this actually got drawn over the course of like, I think I took one big break and another smaller break. Or a smaller break and then a bigger break, in that order. And I had already started and I wasn't recording, so I was like, whatever. I gotta do a more proper recording because like there's a lot of information that gets lost in these types of recordings, but oh well. You can see I could not get the anatomy on the torso to feel right for me. I mean, maybe it was fine enough, but or like it was not, the torso and like the neck and head, I just couldn't get things to line up. Probably shouldn't have been challenging myself to do such a more complicated pose and just draw normally, but whatever. I want to challenge myself, but I guess caving and giving up on it isn't exactly a challenge. I drew a much more straightforward anatomy after giving up on this one, so oh well. Video isn't going to be super long because I don't think, like the last time it kind of showed me, I can probably get most of what I want to talk about in a couple minutes. But yeah, look, the torso is awful, and I'm like, I think I've spun, like the way I was doing this, I was spinning the image around a lot, work at different angles, and it just wasn't getting, like I keep resetting. Yeah. I think this is the point where I'm like, okay, I'm just restarting. It's a new pose. I can't do that pose. It would be interesting to go back, maybe use the time lapse to try and go back and get another stab at that pose. But yeah, the more straightforward pose is a bit easier. Isn't this playlist shuffling? It doesn't look like it's shuffling. It's staying all in the Dark Cloud OST. Whatever. That's not important. Yeah. I do kind of get frustrated again trying to figure out the legs, but oh well. See, this is all upside down from how I drew it, because I had it spun 180 degrees here. But that doesn't get captured in the automatic time lapse. I am pretty happy with the anatomy. I think maybe my foreshortening could do with a little work on the arm. The arm that's the right arm, closer to the camera. Or, you know, camera, so to speak. Viewer. The point of view. But, yeah. Like the shoulder kind of seems weird and stuff, but most of the anatomy is alright, I suppose. I don't know. I'll also end up not super happy just with any part of that arm, but you know, I got it as good as I could. I think, do I redraw it from here? I think I might. Yeah, here's where I redraw the arm. Try and make it a little better. Oh, okay. We're out of the Dark Cloud OST now. But yeah, I'm just, you know, this is one of those images where you draw it to try and challenge yourself to something. And I guess I did okay. The sad thing is the auto time lapse uploaded to TikTok and YouTube. Last 2 TikTok videos have been completely just 0 views. I don't know if TikTok changed something about its algorithm where it's now flagging my videos as like not content or something, because I had like a warning on it on that I appealed in the last one that it was some BS about had a watermark on it, you know, my watermark, because it's my content and I put it on my pictures. They auto-detected my watermark as a watermark, saying it was stolen content or some crap like that, so I appealed it. I doubt anyone's viewing those appeals in any quick manner, but the newest video also 0 views, so TikTok might just be a dead platform for me. I don't get a lot of interaction there anyways. I get way more interaction per view over here on YouTube, so oh well. The most TikTok did for me is it proved to me that I could actually get an audience, even if the type of audience you get over there is more fleeting. So it was a confidence boost at least. But yeah, I'd say honestly, the torso anatomy turned out better than I was thinking it was going to as I was going. I'd say maybe there's a little iffiness on like the abs a bit, but I don't know. I guess the aggressive foreshortening kind of makes it a little hard to tell. I should probably cool it with that. I like it conceptually, but I always feel like I don't execute on it just the way that I want to. I also opted to add the same outfit but in a different color palette from the last picture, since it seemed, this last one seemed to go over pretty well. But you know, I think the change in color palette may have been part of the issue. I think the sunset color palette is more higher contrast with the rest of Luca, and so it's more eye-catching. This picture seemed to slide under the radar a bit more where I posted it. Could also be come down to posting time and whatever. I'm trying not to read too deeply into it and like metagame stuff, because that just ends up getting you depressed if you get too focused on those sorts of things. But yeah, I want to keep refining the design I chose for the foot paws, just because I feel like I'm dancing around what I want, but I'm not quite there yet. I think maybe shorter toes next time. Not sure. We'll see. I'll keep experimenting and seeing what seems right and whatnot. Maybe less complex less complex poses might be a good move too. I don't know. But that was the time lapse. Guess I'll scrub back through it again. Let's see. So like I think this may have been originally what I wanted, something in this pose. I may steal this frame and try again in the future, but I don't know if it'll be my next image, obviously. I want to get it to work, because that's the picture I wanted to draw. Like, as I went further, it got worse. It's a very abstract construction layer here, but I think I could work with this if I, you know, was in a better headspace and tried it again. And then, yeah, guess, can I pause the time lapse? Yeah, so I can, whoop, that layer needs to go behind the PNG tuber, please. Oh boy. Away with you. So yeah. You can kind of see the... I've been posting about it on Blue Sky and a little on Twitter about changing up the going to it for a 5-toed design for Luca and being more accurate to otters as opposed to my older 4-toe design. That was, it always felt too like canine to me. It was more feline before I, you know, ended up starting to draw claws and stuff, and then that it sort of rode the line of like very generic furry paws as opposed to otter. I mean, I've added webbing, but it never was quite right for me. And it was something I kind of was like, well, do I completely change up how I draw foot paws? Because, like, it's kind of one of my signatures, so I didn't really want to for the longest time, but it never felt quite right when I drew Luca, drew his paws. Made sense for Machete, and obviously, like, if I'm drawing canines and felines, I might try a 5-toe design, but I'd do it different, because the way cats and dogs and whatnot walk usually don't include that 5th toe. It is a dew claw, and so it's set back. So you can kind of forget it. I think in some animals, I don't know, I'm not like a vet or biologist, so I'd have to actually go and study different animals, but it's like hardly visible in a lot of them. If it's there at all. So, but for otters, the 5th toe, the thumb toe essentially, is very prominent. And since they are plantigrade already when standing on 2 feet, they do use that toe when walking and standing, and it's excluding it is weird. And so I wanted to get a little more accurate. And I'm still figuring out how to do that, because anthropomorphizing an existing paw is a process. Because you have to consider the fact that you want to integrate human anatomy a bit, because that's the whole point, without like completely compromising the animal stuff, because then you start getting into like Neko stuff if it's just human colored blue. Like, that's not what I'm interested in doing. I've always found stuff that leans too human just kind of off-putting and weird. But trying to find just the right way to anthropomorphize paws has always kind of been an interest of mine, and I've been neglecting that for a few years. So, it's like, I actually got kind of really into that when I was, like, much earlier on as an artist, trying to figure out how to do foot paws the first time around. Because plantigrade was not as popular, and a lot of plantigrade stuff at that time was the more typical, like, oh, it's just a human foot that's colored weird. Like, or like, oh, it has claws on it, but it's otherwise just human. Like, the 4-toe plantigrade is... I think it's more common now, because I think there's just more furry art now, but... yeah. I don't know, that may have just been what I could find at the time, and maybe I've been able to find broader sources of furry art since, but I don't know. This has been a ramble I've gone on too long about. Stuff no one probably really cares about, just the types of things that you happen upon when you're researching references and whatnot, or just browsing art in general. But yeah, so that is Lift, and then some rambling after the fact that put this video up to about 15 minutes when I thought it was going to be about 8. Oh well. That'll be it for this one. I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.